news. No, I'm just kidding. We're not a news.
Hello, everyone. This is Epic. You're listening to, and you're also listening to the No Particular Order podcast, Saturday morning chat session, or as Jay likes to refer to it, mindless talk, which I'm okay with on Saturday mornings. I am one of your hosts, co-host, Gladys L. Tyler. The other one, Shannon, is nowhere to be found. I hope he's okay. We'll find out soon enough. And then we have this gentleman here. Hi.
Oh, hi, I'm Kyle Center. Anyone who doesn't know that already.
Yeah, you should know that.
Watch all the other shows.
Who doesn't know Kyle? Like, everyone knows Kyle because he's Kyle.
Unless we get some new listeners that are first time on the Going for Two Live network here.
They would still know you.
If you feel free to comment, let us know. Go to the YouTube page, drop some comments. I think you can even comment through Twitter now, apparently. So
we can?
Or well, you can always comment through Twitter, but we can actually,
hey, if you're on Twitter, just send a hi in. If you're listening to this or watching this on Twitter, just type in hi or something in the comments so I can see if that's a true statement. And if you're on YouTube, I think you should probably smash that like button like right now or sometime during the conversation and leave a comment because Jamie, we love you so much, everyone, but we love Jamie too, especially Jamie,
hey, Jamie.
Our resident alien Canadian, our resident Canadian by
Canadian by proxy?
By proxy.
Attempted Canadian?
Attempted Canadian. I like that even more.
I mean, he's also the newest member of our FPC Dynasty League, so.
I'm going to crush him. You're going to be the only person I crush in the Dynasty League, Jamie, because I don't play Dynasty very well, but I'm going to crush you. I just want you to know that right now. I feel it. Also, the things that we like the most, I cheat when we do it because I put like the Instagram, Twitter, and YouTube that I like the most this week, and then I'm also going to say what I like the most. So I have like 4 times.
Yeah, you know what? I've got maybe 1 or 2 things in mind, so you go ahead and do whatever you want.
Oh my God, Jamie's transitioning to be Irish now. No more Canadian. Now he's Irish.
He's going to be American, Canadian, Irish.
I hope it comes with that accent because that is like my favorite accent ever. Irish accent is the #1 accent in the entire universe, followed closely by Australian accent and then by Cajun accent. I don't know how that works itself in, but that's what I like.
Yeah, no, I love hearing not everyone speak with the same type of voice accent. I love that, you know, this world, we're all humans, but we all kind of, you know, develop speech patterns differently depending on where you are in the world. I think it's fascinating for sure. He's cheating in all his leagues. Maybe I shouldn't have invited him.
Well, as long as you don't get caught. I admire someone who cheats and doesn't get caught, Jamie. I like that about people. But I'm sorry. You can cheat all you want. I'm still going to kick your fucking ass, buddy. Your Irish Canadian Cleveland ass is going to be so kicked in this Dynasty League. I'm going to be like in how many people? 12? It's a 12-man league?
12, yeah.
I'm going to be 11th, Jamie, and I'm just going to make sure you're 12. That's how good I am in this Dynasty
So basically,
league.
Jamie and I will switch this year.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll be in the semifinals. And I'll probably miss the playoffs again.
I am paring down my Dynasty this season, although I said that last season too. And I kind of did, actually. And I'm going to win every fantasy league I'm in this year. That's my goal. It's not always my goal, but
follow my own advice. Maybe we should all follow Jamie's advice, and then we all win. Oh wait,
dude, have you heard some of Jamie's advice? I'm not sure that's a great idea.
Well, advice on fantasy, that's one thing. Like that, he's fantastic at that. Yeah, I don't know if he's really giving advice, but he's just talking about outrageous stories. That's more sharing insight than anything.
He does have some really great.
Talk about transitioning to be Irish.
I think that's awesome.
Pretty tame. It's an early morning for Jamie.
It is. Well, no, it's like what 11 o'clock their time, right? Or is he in Central Time or is he on East Coast?
See, I think they're Central, so it's actually probably 10? I think Cleveland is would be 10.
Oh, 10 okay, 10, so it is early for him. Okay, I'll give you that. Also, what was I going to say? I totally forgot. So, Kyle, what was the best? And I know what the worst thing was that you saw last week. What was the best thing that you saw last week?
You just had to remind me, didn't you? No. So I think the best thing I saw was actually not just on one day, but in the we're talking dynasty, so we'll keep the conversation going in that regard.
Yeah, yeah.
In the Speak on It Dynasty League, so the Speak on It podcast, also on the Going for Two Live network on Tuesday nights. Incredible show. I mean, honestly, most weeks that's the best thing I see is just that show. It's funny. Um, and, I guess leading into the episode, the Sunday, the Monday, and the Tuesday, there was a bunch of trades made. I think like
Mhm.
5 or 6 different trades over that 3-day period, and it gave them tons of material to start that episode with. I know for anyone watching, Bam got ripped pretty hard on the in the episode. Like Danny and Dee were just laying into him, but and it also happened in the league chat as well. But yeah, so crazy to see. Yeah, I think 5 trades in a just slightly over 48-hour period. It started with the defending champ Greg, because in this league there was actually 2 openings. We've had 2 new managers,
Okay.
and Greg made a trade with one of those new managers. Greg gave up Tank Dell, his 24 first, since he was the champ. That is it's 10 teams, so it's the 110 and 24 second, so the 210. Tank Dell 110, 210 for Puka Nakua and I think an early second.
I think I saw that in the chat because I think I think someone was asking was that a good trade.
Yeah, I
Um,
think we ended up talking about most of the trade. Okay, so it is Eastern time. Okay.
yeah,
For some reason,
yeah.
I thought because I went to
There-
Canton and I definitely changed time zones. I thought Canton and Cleveland were like super close to each other.
mm, I think Cleveland's a little higher up.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not. I thought like it's you still cross that time zone. I remember like going into Pennsylvania. I thought that's where I things changed, but I can't remember. Who knows?
Hmm. Mhm.
But anyway, and this it's a good trade, and I understand why this new manager sold Puka for that. I had put an offer in for Puka, I guess a couple nights before, and was considering it, and ultimately went with this one. Uh, I guess I was offering Drake London in a first, and I guess he preferred Tank Dell to London. It seems.
Um.
And I guess the move up in the second round too. I was just straight up offering the first. This was
Oh yeah.
Dell the first and the ability to move up. I think it's the 201. So move up almost a full round as well on getting the first. So I think I understand why Greg went with that instead of my offer. Even if I
Uh,
was upset.
I
Or not Greg, the new manager.
the
Sorry.
new manager. Okay.
Greg's the one that gets Puka. So you give Puka to the defending champ. That's great. But I understand. It was a better offer than what I sent.
And that was the best thing you saw this week.
Well, just like the flurry of trades
Oh, the
happened.
flurry of trades.
So I was kind of set on selling Drake London, and the other new manager that joined was looking to sell some pieces, and so we made a 3-for-3 trade. So I gave up Drake London
Okay.
and my 24 first, which turned out to be the 109,
Okay.
which is just cool because actually it might not be the 110 now I think about it. The playoff teams, the draft order isn't based on how they finish in the playoffs. It's a lottery. So the first 4 picks are decided by bracket. You've got to win to get your 101, and then 5 through 10, it's all lottery. So it doesn't matter how you do in the playoffs. So you could win the championship and still end up with the 105 if you get lottery luck. I had the opposite. I lost in the first round of the playoffs, and I still got screwed by the lottery and have the second last pick. But anyway, so part of me thinking, well, let's trade away this pick then. If I'm going to have bad lottery luck, it's someone else's pick. So I gave up Drake London, gave up the 109, gave up Tony Pollard as well. I got Michael
Ooh.
Pittman, Derrick Henry, and the 203. So to me, the essence is moving down 4 spots in the rookie draft, going from one free agent running back to another free agent running back, likely Tony Pollard to Derrick Henry. The only difference is age, but they're in the same situation. So I'll take the guy that's maybe been more consistent year over year performing. But regardless, I could see why they would want to get rid of Henry. He's getting old. Pollard's a little younger. But to me, like to move down 4 spots and just to switch running backs, I think I'm so like I was totally willing to do that to go from Drake London to Michael Pittman. I like London, but I have Pittman currently as a top 10 dynasty wide receiver. So I was able to get a share of him here. I had a couple shares 2 years ago of him, and then both those leagues folded at the start of 2023. So I went from like 2 shares, or 3 shares of Pittman to zero. So now I had to buy myself back into Pittman somewhere. So hopefully, because he's a free agent too potentially, and we'll see if the Colts do in fact give him the bag and re-sign him. If not, I'd imagine some team pays him a lot of money to be their number one receiver anyway. So I'm not too concerned with where Pittman ends up. Heck, maybe he goes to the Chiefs. Tied to an even better quarterback. So
I'm sorry. Jamie, did the Twitter comment work? Your Twitter comment? Because if that is your Twitter comment, then yes, the Twitter comment worked. If it was
no,
another,
it's YouTube. You can see it. You can see next to his image. There's the YouTube thing.
Then no, it did not work. Depending on. Yep. Nope. James, it didn't come through.
Yeah, supposedly they were supposed to. We were taught, like I saw in one of the group chats with Jeff, he'd mentioned that they should have fixed it, and like some people were talking about how they were seeing Twitter comments appear. So unless Jamie messed up somehow, but please don't take a nap before the show. I mean, like you can always rewatch it later, even if you miss something. So.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't think so, Jamie. All right. And
what
what's
other trades? Anyway, oh sorry, yeah, and then there were a few other trades made after, but I guess not as significant. It's only 2 more trades. But then, oh yeah, so the one that really got people riled up was Bam, who's I think he's Danny's cousin. He sold Jalen Waddle for a package of 4 pieces: Josh Downs, Cortland Sutton, Dalvin Cook, and a 26 second. And my God, like I don't think it's that bad a trade, because I do believe in Josh Downs, especially if Pittman leaves. Downs is suddenly the number 1 receiver there. But man, people were like, "Oh my God, this is the cheapest you could ever get Waddle. Like, what are you doing, Bam?" And like everyone was focused on Dalvin Cook. It seemed like Dalvin Cook might not even play next year. It's like, okay, he's maybe the fourth, the least important piece coming back. But like to get Downs and Sutton, I think if Downs can develop, I think it could end up working out in Bam's favor. So I know Bam's pretty adamant. Like, yeah, I like Downs. Want to sell Waddle? Let's do this. So that was a lot of speak on it. So I'd encourage people to go check out Speak on It. That's what the episode started with, was Danny and D just ripping Bam on that trade. That was fun.
Is Danny in the league too?
Yep, both of them are. Yeah, Danny ended up making a trade with the new manager. He sold Quentin Johnston for a 25 second. He's like, yeah, he's so bad as a rookie, I'm just re-rolling, and I totally get that.
Was this before or after the Harbaugh?
Jonathan Mingo too. It's like, I'll sell Mingo for another second, re-roll.
Was this before or after Harbaugh got there?
I think before. Because this all happened. I think that trade happened Tuesday morning, or Tuesday afternoon. It happened. And I think Harbaugh was a little later in the week. But I mean,
yeah, he was Thursday.
I mean, if Quentin Johnston sucks, I don't think it matters who the coach is. Like, you could have the best coach in the world, and what he's going to do is then just replace.
I think coaching does matter. Like, I think
it does. But if you're that bad of a player, there's only so
I don't
much
think
coaching
Quentin Johnston's that bad.
I think so. One of the criticisms of Quentin Johnston coming in was his ability to catch the football. In college, he was a body catcher. He needs to learn how to use his hands to catch the ball instead of letting it get into his body.
Right.
And that's the worst habits for a receiver to have. So if he can work his way out of that, just get better at catching the football, sure. But I mean, a lot of these other receivers came in already doing that. So yeah, especially in a like, because that's the thing, Jamie. I don't think you can get a first for Quentin Johnston, even in this league, which is a 1 QB league. So the most you're re-rolling for him is probably a second. If someone can get a first for Quentin Johnston right now, that's a smash trade. I just don't think that's happening because he was that bad as a rookie. I mean, you had Puka Nacua as a 5th rounder, just like double him up in receiving yards. And there's all like Tank Dell, a 3rd or 4th rounder in the NFL draft as well. So, and then not to mention the other first rounders kind of all hit. Like Jordan Addison was great. Zay Flowers was really good. Jackson Smith-Njigba didn't produce as much, but he also didn't get the opportunity. Whereas Johnson was getting targets and just not catching the football. So it's the things that we're not surprised by that. Everyone was expecting that to happen, that he was going to struggle to catch the football. So I don't know if maybe he turns it around, but I think Danny's just. Here's the thing, Jamie. I've got Roschon in that league, and I would not trade Roschon to get Quentin Johnston. So Danny would not have been able to do that. I'll stick with the running back. I've got enough wide receiver depth that I wouldn't. Running back depth is where I'm maybe hurting more. I'd keep the running back over the receiver. And I'm sure Jamie would also do that trade. If he had Roshan, he would not be giving him up for Quentin, right? Right, Jamie? I don't know how Gladys feels about that, but
Oh, I don't care. Either way.
fair enough.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, just seeing the
Dynasty is not
flurry
my
of
thing.
trades, and all to say it was funny because when D first rolled over the league with the two new managers, there were 6 trades made in the first 48 hours, January 3rd and 4th. He had 6 trades made those 2 days, and then again another 3-day period where there's like 4 or 5 trades. So it's just apparently
How,
this league is going to trade in bunches like that.
how many leagues is D a commissioner in?
You see, I think last year, I think they talked about this on Speak on It. I think he was in like 7 leagues. I think he commissioned most of them, and he is like, "Yeah, f this. This is way too many." So I think he's cutting back down.
I was gonna say because
I think he wants to be at like 3 or 4,
he wants to commission 3 or 4, or be
or
in.
just. I mean, I don't know if it's commission all of them, but I think he just wants to be in like 3 or 4 leagues.
Well, I could see being in 7 leagues if you commission only 3 or 4, but I can't see commissioning 7 leagues. That's a lot. That's a lot of balls in the air that you have to like, especially if like one's dynasty, one's PPR, one's redraft, one's IDP. You know what I mean? That's a lot to keep up with. I think.
Oh yeah,
Easy.
for sure. No, I commissioned. The only league I commissioned is our FPC Dynasty League. That's it. That's all I want to do.
Yeah,
There's me being in charge of leagues. So yeah, I'll play in 21 others apparently like last year, but I just want to commission one.
yeah, I'll play it. Well, I just want to
I
play.
think this year I would like to be in less than 20 leagues though. I think that's going to be
I think I'm capping it. I think I'm going to cap at 9. Like I will be in 9 leagues,
I
including
think right now I'm
charity league.
planning for 17 leagues. But which gives me like two extra leagues I could join and still be under 20. But to drop from 24 to 22 now to 17, I think that's at least going in the right direction.
I think that I'm in a lot of charity leagues. I was in a lot of charity leagues last year.
And I think that's where I want to really cut down is on redraft. I think I was in last year I was 12 dynasty and 10 redraft, and where I think this year right now it's looking like 11 dynasty and only 6 redraft. I'm going to be really conscious to charity leagues. Cool. I'll just donate to the charity. Like I don't have to actually join the league. I think that's going to be the one thing. And some people say, "Oh, I can't say no to a charity league." Sure, you can. Just donate to charity, and then you don't feel guilty about it. You don't have to join the league to donate money.
I think I'm gonna have to like just donate and not, because like a lot of the charity leagues I think I got in, and I like the one where I'm pretty sure it was a charity league where you played one player. I had no idea until
Oh yeah, the one play, yeah, for Steve Pinto.
Yeah, I had no idea until
fantasy coaches. Yeah, no, I that's not how that league has been. It was weird. It kind of blindsided me that was the format, because the last 2 years that league had been called the secret play. So every week there was 1 or 2 players that were the secret play. We didn't know. Like that manager knew, but the rest of us didn't know. And if that manager won, they got to force a trade among starters of the team they beat. But you wouldn't know going in. So it's not like, oh, I'm playing the secret play. Okay, I'll just bench all my starters and take the L this week. That way, if they beat me, they get a shitty player. But like so you never knew who it was.
Right.
So like the idea is, okay, you just try and put your best lineup, try and win every week. Because if you win, no one gets stolen. So right, if you could win your way out of it, then you don't have to worry about it. I thought that was really cool of a concept.
I think it was a cool concept. I don't think I got it until like I was a secret play a couple times and didn't realize it until
you were in last year. That's right. Okay.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, it was cool, but
I remember the first year I was the secret play a couple times and just didn't win. Like I think I avoided losing to the secret play a ton. I think it only happened once, but I never was able to make up for it and win. But yeah, it's that was funner to me than the one play. The one play was frustrating because like I waited too long to play Justin Herbert and then he was out. I think Beckham.
You draft different. You draft different if it's a one play. I mean,
yeah, I went a lot earlier on Kamara than I did, thinking, oh, he's going to be suspended for 3 games. Well, I can only play him 1 week anyway, so that doesn't matter at all.
Right. And
I started pretty well, but then one thing that messed me up real bad was the week I played Odell Beckham. He was sick, but they didn't announce it on the practice report. He ended up getting, I think he got like a couple targets, but he got 0 catches, and I took a 0. And that just really, like, of all the weeks to play Beckham, they couldn't have announced that he was sick, and that would have been the good week to play Justin Herbert. So it really messed up. Yeah, I think I ended up finishing like 5th or 6th, but I don't want to do that again next
year. Yeah, I don't want to play that type of league.
It was cool to try. Just like it's funny because I've talked about leagues folding already. I've had way more dynasty leagues fold than I've actually left dynasty leagues. I think I've only actually left two, but I've had like, I don't know, maybe like 10 different dynasty leagues fold over the last like decade. But the one I left this year was a dynasty league. It was also a Debbie league, and I'd been in it
Mm.
for since the league was created. I think 2021. So this was the third year. I just don't find Debbie as fun. So that's the one thing I'm just going to be conscious on. I'm just going to consolidate to the formats I enjoy. I tried Debbie. It was cool. I don't ever want to play another Debbie league again, though.
Um,
It's just not for me because I don't like college football. So to me, it's kind of I would just trade away the Debbie picks, and it was a combined Debbie rookie draft. So you could those picks you could use it on a Debbie player or a rookie. I would just take rookies.
I like I I think my goal is to like I like Jeff's combo leagues. Like I like the Vampire League. I like the Guillotine League. I think that Rasball this year is gonna start some. Like they did best ball. I don't like playing best ball. To me, it's like playing Dynasty Futures. I don't like having to predict who's going to be.
I like setting lineups. So yeah, I don't like
Yeah,
playing best ball either. I especially hate the in best ball, especially like dynasty best ball is one thing, but like redraft best ball where you can't make moves. Like I
yeah,
love making roster moves, adding, dropping. Like to me, it feels so empty that you just have the team and it's just there.
yeah,
Like
and you don't know what's going on.
doesn't.
Like
Yeah,
most of
no,
my leagues, I played in like 4 best ball leagues, and I don't think I like it wasn't any fun for me.
no. So
Um,
yeah, I'm not going to put money into stuff like that if I don't enjoy it. So I want more salary cap contract leagues. I want more auction leagues. Like that's where I really want to be putting my money towards.
no, I want more vampire leagues and more guillotine leagues. That's where I want to play.
I've never played in a guillotine league. It does sound fun.
It
But I
wait,
think we
you weren't
kind
in
of
the one this year? Oh,
I feel like we got to be fair, Jeff zombie leagues. Those were kind of interesting.
uh huh.
There's a
Yeah,
couple. Sorry, Jeff. There's a couple of rules I just don't like in that league. So I'm probably not going to. That's what I'm going to leave as well. Like those will be like again really just want to cut down to I want to just be in 6 redraft leagues because that's where it got overwhelming to me.
um,
Because like dynasty waiver wires are usually bare, but redraft waiver wires like that's so important to league success, and it got really tedious. So
it,
oh, congrats. Jamie's an honorary Razzball member. He gets everyone razzled up, so that makes sense.
he's always in like our chats. He's always in the chats on Razzball. Always. He's an
Now,
honorary
have
member,
you?
I think, in like every what?
Oh yeah, Jamie's great.
Yeah,
Jamie's one of the most supportive people in the fantasy community of other people's content. It's
he is.
fantastic.
He's really great.
More people should be like Jamie. As much as he's outrageous and crazy and wild, he's very kind-hearted and generous. So everyone should be more like Jamie. If the world
And
was filled with people with Jamie, it'd be a more interesting. It'd be a much better place.
Jimmy, I feel like I've seen the movie, but he's
I've
like
literally never heard of this, so I've definitely not seen it.
I no,
Like I've heard of a lot of movies and I'm aware of movies, even if I haven't seen them. I have no idea what this is.
just one of the guys. It's like oh shit, it's like the movie with Channing Tatum and the little girl that kind of went crazy, where she pretends to be a brother on the soccer so she could play soccer.
Oh, so it's like another version of Twelfth Night.
Yeah, but this is
She's
earlier.
the man.
Yeah, she's the man, but this is earlier than
Yeah, 80s clearly. No, it's funny.
so.
I literally was supply teaching this week. Was it Tuesday? And the kids watched. It's an English class,
Mhm.
and they had studied Twelfth Night, so that they also watched She's the Man and the comparison between Twelfth Night and She's the Man, which is that's a standard thing for grade 10 English teachers to do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, well, just because I mean, Twelfth Night's a great comedy by Shakespeare.
right.
It's not, it's a comedy, so it's not tragic. It's not all sad and stuff. So you don't, you don't like give them. I love Macbeth, but man, that's a violent freaking story. I got to tell you. But like it's nice, lighthearted. But then you can directly connect it to something that's more contemporary for them. Like She's the Man. So
Yeah, she's the man's a good movie. It's like Channing Tatum, what one of early Channing Tatum.
yeah,
So
I actually had completely forgot that he was in that movie until again I went and supplied and saw. Oh wait, Channing Tatum's in this, huh? Huh.
yeah, had to make the little
Because I
girl.
had seen it, but yeah, totally over my. I guess at that point, because it was so early for him, he wasn't. Oh, it's Channing Tatum. It's like okay, there's this random actor.
Like I think he's like a pivotal character in there, actually.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. No, but like
Um,
I didn't know. I just didn't know who he was. Right? Like it's to me, it was just
they
I knew
also
Amanda Bynes, but that was it. Like
oh,
the rest of
Amanda
the actors,
Bynes.
I don't know
That's
who
yeah.
any of these people are.
I think it's really good. I mean,
Trajectories for those two completely opposite though. Holy
yeah. Well,
downhill for her. He has just taken off as a superstar. So
I think hers was like a lot of mental issues too. Like,
yeah, substance abuse is it's a
yeah,
serious thing, and it
yeah.
seems like it affects tons of people.
And he kind of just magic mic'd his way up to the old ladder.
Yeah, he took a
Um,
21 jump street up.
I did not like 21 Jump Street with him. I mean, I like the cameos, the first one with all the cameos from the original cast from 21 Jump Street, most of the original cast from 21 Jump Street, but I didn't like the
Yeah, that
movie at
was cool. Yeah,
all.
with Johnny Depp.
Yeah, it was. But the movie,
I thought the movie was funny. I mean, I thought
mm, mm,
Tatum and Jonah Hill were fine as actors. I just thought it was so very well written, and I think Jonah Hill was pivotal to that. So give credit to Jonah Hill because that was a hilarious. Both of them were very funny.
see, I didn't think. I mean, it was funnier than the second one by far, but I just didn't think it was that great of a. I didn't think it was that well written, or I don't know. It just.
Maybe I was
I
smoking too much weed that day. That's why I thought it was funny. But
I think a lot of Jonah Hill's movies are better if you smoke a lot of weed. I just think that Jonah Hill.
I
Um,
mean, I think every movie's better if you smoke a lot of weed.
I don't know
Like
about
Lord of the
that.
Rings is great no matter what, but if you get stoned and watch Lord of the Rings, it's even better. So yeah.
uh, Lord, yeah. Well, I could see that.
They smoke a lot in Lord of the Rings. Holy
Yeah,
crap! I've done
they
that
do
before,
smoke a
where I
lot.
do the get my
Every
pipe
time,
and
every time they smoke,
I'll
you
do the
smoke.
smoke as they smoke challenge. My
Yeah.
God, you get fucking wrecked. Especially the first
That
one.
is
It's
one
a
challenge
little
that
less
is
in 2 and 3, but
ridiculous.
man, Fellowship, they smoke so much. Everyone smokes so much.
Yeah,
Sauron
but
even calls Gandalf out about it. Oh, the Hobbit's weed has dulled your senses, and Gandalf's like, "No."
I don't know that movie. Fighting with him is a good movie. The movie Fighting.
Fighting.
Oh, the movie Fighting with
Yeah.
him is a good movie. With him, I'm assuming is Channing Tatum. Is who he's
Yeah,
talking
I'd
about.
imagine so.
I
Uh,
I don't
you
know
see, I
that
remember
movie.
there was a movie where he was like, yeah, he was doing some fighting.
I don't remember
Can't
that.
remember if it was called Fighting or not, though. It must be. Maybe I've seen it then.
I haven't seen it, and
He
which
had
is
to
weird.
move to a new city, and then
Huh? Is it like pre Magic Mike or post Magic Mike?
I'm gonna say pre-Magic Mike.
Pre Magic
Probably
Mike.
pretty close, but I think it happened before. If it's the same movie I'm thinking of, and yes, speak on it. I usually try to smoke, not too much because I got to record right after, so I don't want my voice being so harsh for the people on the Full Press Fantasy Pod. But yes, I will typically consume just
Speak
before they
on it.
start going because it's hilarious.
They are pretty funny though. Together, they're really. Were they friends? Do you know before the podcast?
I think so. I think they knew each other.
Okay,
And
because they have,
then when Danny was given the green light to get the show from Jeff, I think
he
he
picked
he
D.
had D in mind as that's who I want as my co-host. So I do believe they had a relationship of some sort.
They have really good chemistry. They have really
Yeah,
good balance.
yeah. And if they didn't know each other before, man, how they created that chemistry right off the bat is
I
insane.
know
Because
is
I
awesome.
remember watching episode 1 and I thought it was great right off the bat. So
I don't think I've watched episode one, but I watch them now, and it's just.
I've tried to watch every Going for Two live show over the last 3 years. That's
Do you
just
know that? Oh, that's I should have mentioned that. Like D on Instagram does his DJ stuff, and it's awesome.
yeah.
So shit, I don't know his Instagram handle.
I think it's just Low Steam Mix. I think he puts that as his handle for everything.
Is it?
I
So
think
yeah,
so.
another
I'm not
good
on Instagram.
social media is if you're on Instagram, go to Losty Mix, LOSDEEMIX, and his like every now and then he'll pop up and just start doing DJ things, great DJ things, which I like. Instagram to me is where you go to be happy. Like Twitter's where you go to like. Well, I'm on the dog's Twitter, so I go there to be happy too. But just Twitter, like fantasy sometimes is like trash. Like people just trying to, especially during the season. So going to Instagram and listening to dogs talk to each other is the best thing ever. And then getting them, yeah. Oh my God, I
Terrence
love Terrence Howard. How can you
Terrence
not?
Howard, like
It's
the
hot.
first, like the guy in the first Iron Man before
Yeah.
Don Cheadle took over the role. Okay, yeah.
Yep. Terrence.
He's in Crash as well. Trying to think of other Terrence Howard movies. He's a
I
great actor.
yeah. I don't.
But my God,
I don't see. Then I have
that seemed
never
like a
seen fighting.
huge mistake. I know, like, oh, my role's integral. I want more money, but like, man, that seemed like a huge mistake on his part because of how many movies Don Cheadle was in. How much money did Don Cheadle make from Marvel? because Terrence Howard
Well, I
like
think it was
chose to leave.
also. I think it was also him and Downing didn't get along too.
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I thought it was
Yeah.
just money related. He wanted more. Marvel wasn't willing to do it. He wasn't willing to budge, so they parted ways. I
Well,
thought that was the story. Maybe there's more to the story though.
yeah, I think he wanted more money too, but I think that him and Robert
Not
Downey
gonna
Jr.
lie though, like Don Cheadle's one of my favorite actors ever.
Oh my
Terrence
God,
Howard is great. I think Don Cheadle's better as
Hustle and Flow. Yeah,
uh
he's on. Pumpkin Hustle
I
and
can't
Flow.
think of the character's name, War Machine. So even if that wasn't what Marvel intended, that turned out to I think be the right call for Marvel to not pay Terrence Howard much because you were able to get Don Cheadle in that role. And he's done phenomenal.
And I can't imagine getting Don Cheadle for less than you got Terrence Howard for, because
It
Don
was probably the
Cheadle,
same amount. It's whatever Howard wasn't willing to take it for, Cheadle was.
because
So
Cheadle's
I
a
think
better actor than Terrence Howard. I think, like just
certainly
range,
both established.
range wise, he's just his range has been high. That's
You're
Jack.
right. Yes, he yes, the vast variety of characters, he could change
Yeah,
himself quite a lot. Terrence Howard, I guess, yeah, a lot of his characters do kind of
yeah,
seem
the
the
same.
same type of
It's like Tom Cruise.
mannerisms and talking and like the
Yeah,
how the attitude he approaches with.
yeah.
But to be fair, there's a ton of actors who just almost seem like they're playing the same role in every movie because that's all they know. Okay, I can act this character, but that's it.
Well, I mean, it worked. Like it works for
Oh,
Tom
yeah, for sure.
Cruise. But
Yes, that's a perfect example. Yes.
yeah, I mean,
There's another. I was just trying to think. I know there's a few actors that are like that. Which is like, man, they just. Oh, The Rock.
oh,
Rock's made a
well,
whole career on just being the same character every single time.
every single time. Yeah.
I'm jacked. I'm tough.
Vin Diesel, same character. I don't care what he's in. He's is that same character.
So the Tooth Fairy and Dom Toretto, I guess, are the same thing. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. The Tooth Fairy, yes. What's the other one where the babysitter or something?
The Pacifier, I
The
think. Right?
pacifier, yeah. The Tooth Fairy, the pacifier.
I live my life a quarter pacifier at a time.
Always taking care. It's the same character.
I live my life a diaper change at a time.
Although Tom Cruise Collateral, that character was
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you've talked about that before. That's your favorite role of his because he's a villain finally, and it's totally departure of everything.
totally departure, and it's like great people surrounding him. It's
Jamie Foxx, right?
Jamie Foxx, the Hulk. What's the Hulk in Marvel?
Oh, Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. It's just really good game plan.
Game plan.
Yes, I mean,
I live my life a quarter game at a time.
it's Vin Diesel. He's and The Rock. They're Kevin Hart. Although he's trying to branch out, which is really making me sad. But Kevin Hart, same character, all the time.
Well, and you got to think like all these other guys. I mean, really, The Rock's an athlete first, and then became an actor through wrestling. I'll say, he started as a CFL player. That's where he started.
Okay.
CFL. He was a Calgary Stampeder.
Yeah.
He was a linebacker.
Yeah.
I don't think he ever played a game though. Practice squad. He was still a Calgary. He was still in the CFL. Like, we love The Rock for that.
He can still claim that. Yes, he can still claim.
I love all former CFL players, except Johnny. I love most former CFL players. Jerome Messham's not that great either, apparently.
I didn't think I don't know her name, but she plays pretty much, and I think it's because of her looks. She's just in like an episode of Numbers that I watched last night, and she played the same girl. But she was in I think it's called Snow White. It was one episode, 1 year it was on, then they took it off. And I'm pretty sure she's not American. Dark hair, Marg.
I like her already.
What?
Not American, dark hair, perfect. Just my type.
I'm trying to think of something spectacular that she's been in, but I can't. And it'll come to me when it's too late. But let's do the TV show Numbers. It's old. Where the kid.
Yeah, I remember when that was like when it originally ran when I was younger.
Yeah, I've been watching it on Freevee or whatever, and I forgot how much I loved it. But
I've never watched it, but it does seem interesting.
You've never watched it? See, that would be something I think that you would watch.
It does. It feels like It does to a certain extent feel though like it's the less refined version of Person of Interest.
A person of interest?
Yeah. You never seen Person of
What
Interest?
the? Oh yeah, I love person of interest. I've watched it.
It just seems like they're super similar as a show, but I do really enjoy what they did with Person of Interest. It just feels like that'd be like if I could
Mm,
watch Numbers, I'd rather just watch Person of Interest. That's I guess that's the dilemma I have.
no,
No? Okay.
I would. I don't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't equate the two. That's really.
Okay,
That's
fair
a
enough.
really a weird. Like, I mean, why did you think? Why do you think they're? Why do you equate them?
Because it like I guess the concept of numbers is they're trying to use algorithms and numbers and math to like solve world problems essentially, but also find world problems. Like I guess Person of Interest is really like the algorithm indicates where there's danger. Like we don't know what we're gonna do, but we have to do something with this person.
Right.
It just feels like numbers is kind of like that, but I guess maybe again I've never seen, it, so I don't really understand it enough. So yeah,
Well,
maybe I should give it a chance.
yeah.
Because you're
Well,
right, like
they're two
it's called
brothers.
numbers, and the E is spelled with a three. Like just that
Yeah,
alone is like I should like the show for that.
two brothers. One's an FBI agent. The other is like a child prodigy genius, math genius, and he, the math, the FBI agent. I think it's in the pilot episode. There's a serial rapist, and the brother, because of math equations and because of math theories, can find like the common denominator of where all the rapes are happening, so they know where the person lives. So it's that kind of thing. But yeah, I never. That's interesting. I have to think more about that. I've never tried to equate numbers and person of interest, which would be kind of the same because you're using a computer, so you're using ones and zeros to find the killer, I guess, or to find someone who's in danger. I guess the major difference is you don't know if they're the villain or the hero or the person that needs to be saved in person of interest. And numbers, you know that you're looking for the villain. But interesting. No, I have person of interest. I like the first 3 seasons, maybe 4 seasons. It gets kind of towards the end. It gets kind of wonky. You know, when they bring in the other group that's trying to take control of the computer. Although uh, the two females are by far my favorite characters in Person of Interest, like Root and Sarah Shy's character. Um, um,
Never had the serial rapist. I prefer Raisin Bran. Jesus, Jamie. That's
um,
that's the Jamie comment of the day. That's for sure.
so yeah, but I guess
Hey, Dave's here. Toronto Dave.
what's up, Toronto Dave?
Hey, the Toronto PWHL team finally won their first home game. Leave it to a very new Toronto franchise in a brand new league where everyone's on even footing to just be awful because they're Toronto. Sorry, Dave.
Hi, Dave. How are you?
The only Toronto team I cheer for is the Raptors because it's the only team in Canada, but every other Toronto team I mostly despise. So,
Are the Raptors any good this year?
oh, they're awful.
Oh, okay.
They're the team that the Pistons beat like finally
Oh,
broke their big losing streak against.
I'm so glad the Pistons won
They've
again.
traded away all their players. Siakam's gone. OG Anunoby's gone. Like this team is in shambles. Like I haven't watched a single game. I'm usually only watching the playoffs anyway, which means I'm probably not going to watch Raptors games this year.
I only watch in the playoffs, but I try to keep abreast of what's going on.
Oh, I'm following the standings. I can clearly see they have more losses than wins. Like they're
I don't
super
follow the
bad. They're not
standings.
good.
I just
Hey,
follow.
you know what? The last time they were this bad, they got Scotty Barnes 4th overall, and with
Uh-huh.
him, they were able to. Last couple years, they've at least clawed their way back into it. Raptor claw. But now it really feels like the rebuild is happening. So maybe in 5 years they're good again.
Who's the coach of the Raptors?
Because they just fired Nick Nurse as well. Honestly, it's some European dude. I can't even. Some white European guy. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah, there are a lot of like. Didn't wait. Who's Minnesota fired their coach too? And they were doing really, really well.
Oh,
So,
isn't Minnesota first in the West?
yeah, but they fired their coach, I think.
No, the Bucks fired their coach.
Oh,
Milwaukee to bring in Doc Rivers, even though they were like, I think they were like top 2, top 3 in the East. So yeah, no, it's
That's
I mean, to
true.
be fair, they fired their head coach like 2 3 years after winning the championship. So it does seem like that ownership group is a little impatient, to be honest. That also seems like since they've just fired the next guy, maybe they shouldn't have fired. Is it Bullhauser?
Yeah, I
Maybe
think
that
that's
wasn't a
right.
good decision. I don't know. He won you a championship, like kind of like the Raptors firing Nick Nurse. Oh,
Uh,
Taylor Hissey. Because I was gonna say, yeah, this one, the PWHL. There's been apparently one player that's head and shoulders above the rest. I was thinking it was Matty Fide-Poulet, but yeah, Taylor Hessey's good. New York's got a couple of good players, or New York, Boston. Hillary Knight and what's her first name? Brant. That was quite the duo. A lot of good talented players. I've watched a few games. Uh, it's great, super fantastic. 6 teams, so it's a league in its infancy, but there's not really one team that's super bad either because they've all got good talent. And I love the way they started it. They didn't do a draft start. Teams were given, I think they could sign, I think it was 3 players before the draft. And it was a lot of teams went with hometown players. Like the Montreal franchise went with 3 Québécois, including Marie Philippe Poulin, who's their captain. Hillary Knight went to one of the American teams. Like the Toronto and Ottawa got Canadian players as their first 3. So a lot of teams were going to build around these 3 key franchise players that do typically have ties to the area. They want to be Marie Philippe Poulin wanted to play for Montreal. Hillary Knight wanted to play for an American team. So they were able to kind of build the brand right from the get-go, and then they had a draft, which meant you got good players in the spots that they wanted to be in. The teams got the players that they absolutely wanted. The fans get to see the players they want to see most, and then you fill the rest out with the draft. I thought that was super cool.
it's hockey.
I love hockey. Sorry, what was the best things you've seen this week? I guess we've spent 42 minutes, and I talked about dynasty trades the whole time.
Well, it wasn't the best thing I saw this week was probably TV. Excuse me, TV, and it was probably rewatching. Hold. Oh, stop! It was probably rewatching Numbers. Like I don't know. I think older TV shows
That was your number one?
are becoming um better. Like I don't know if I realized how well written they are now that we have shows that aren't so well written. Um, but yeah, I don't watch very many reality shows.
Yeah.
Although I have to say,
I find it so fake, which takes the whole point out of reality TV,
yeah,
doesn't it?
Jason Kelsey taking off his shirt and them showing Jason Kelsey, like that was probably top there. That was probably one of my top things to see too.
I think fans in Buffalo, that was the only good thing about that game because they had to witness another loss again. At least we got to see shirtless Jason Kelsey. Crazy.
And when he went to go get the little girl with the Taylor Swift
Yeah.
sign, that was
Yeah.
awesome.
That's great.
But someone on Twitter was like, it's something about like his wife was saying that's like really cool, but when he wants to take off his shirt at a wedding, it's like she's embarrassed. I'm like,
Football game, it's okay. It's Buffalo. He probably wasn't the only shirtless person there, even though it was.
well, I heard his wife was
whatever.
like, "Don't you dare!" And he's like, too late, it's off. So she
We're
was
already
like,
married. You already got 3 kids. Like,
exactly.
What are you
What are you
gonna
gonna
do
do
now?
now? Yeah, you're stuck with me.
Actually, I would have loved to have been in that press box because not like the star power alone in that press box. You have the best quarterback in the CFL, and Zach Collaros was there, and then Jason Kelsey and Taylor Swift as well. Yeah, I would have just hung out with Zach Collaros the whole time.
They were all in one box.
Yeah, because Collaros was college teammates with the Kelsey brothers, so they're all 3 of them are from Ohio. All of them went to the University of Cincinnati, so you know, just Collaros chose the hardest position in football to play, so it's going to be that NFL teams just aren't going to give him a look at quarterback, but he's the best QB in the CFL, so he's been to 4 straight Grey Cups, which no quarterback had ever done in CFL history, and we're at like Grey Cup 110, 111, so it's a long history of Grey Cups, and no quarterback's ever been to 4 straight,
So there's more than one press box, though, right?
Oh, there's tons of press boxes, yeah.
So why were so many people in that one?
Because that was the happening place to be, apparently. Because again, I mean, it makes sense that Collaros is with Kelsey because again, they're college friends. I think they were both freshmen the same year too. Like they both walked on as freshmen. I think they met each other at their freshman orientation.
Okay.
Or maybe not even freshman. I think it was the like interviews like that to before they selected the school. I think that's where Claros and Jason Kelsey met. So like they've known each other a long time. So it made sense that he was,
it was
CFL
Jason
season's
Kelsey.
done, that he came over. I want him on the Jason and Travis podcast. I want them to interview Zach Claros.
Do they interview people? I thought it was just those two.
Nope, they've brought last year they had Jalen Hurts on for an episode. They had Patrick Mahomes on for an episode. They had Andy Reid on for another episode. They had Nick Sirianni. So they're choosing from their teams. But I think they've also expanded to get other players and other coaches as well. But yeah, I'd love to see Zach Claros on there. That'd be great. Probably not going to happen. CFL's not popular enough to drive the ratings, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't think they've reached a point, I think, where it goes beyond who's they're popular enough that it doesn't really matter.
And that's why I want him on. Yes, shout out to the CFL, Dave. Oh, go Toronto. Makes sense. Toronto, Dave. Go Ticats.
Yeah, so I think
colors.
it's they don't really, their popularity alone is
it would almost, I would love it because it might almost help the CFL. Maybe some American fans would go and watch it more. Oh, let's see the Zach Claros guy. Let's see how amazing he is.
You think? No, I don't think so. But okay, we can say that.
Whatever. I'm gonna try and watch every game this year. So probably won't.
Well, you watch every game every year, don't you?
No, I'll miss some games sometimes.
Of the
CFL? I won't watch
CFL?
absolutely every game, but yeah, I'll try and get most. I'll at least watch one game a week, but usually I'll try and watch all 4 every week, or sometimes 3. Sometimes they have 3 teams on by.
Do you write about the CFL too?
No.
Didn't you?
No, I used to do like a live stream on CFL DFS, but now I can't. Or actually, no, I used to write. Yeah, I used to write a DFS column, I guess we'll call it,
Yeah.
on Going for Two. My best value picks every week. Then Ontario changed their laws, and I can't play DFS on DraftKings anymore. So.
Oh, you guys used to play?
Yeah.
Why did they change that you can't?
Because I don't know about you, Dave, but man, our current provincial government is fucking stupid, and yet they got a majority. So, which also tells me the majority of Ontarians are fucking stupid. Not David. Dave's awesome, but
Not
yeah,
Dave.
I think we've got a pretty shitty government right now in Ontario. So
okay.
I think that's part of the problem.
Uh-huh.
First act as premier. Let's cut nursing funding. Let's cut education. Yeah, you see, Dave agrees with me. Yeah, fuck Doug Ford.
I'm sorry. I don't know if you can really say anything until you get Donald Trump as your president.
Luckily, Canada, we don't have presidents, so we don't have to worry about that.
Or a prime minister.
Well, that's the thing. Doug Ford is basically Donald Trump.
Oh, sweet.
Like they have the same megalomaniac sort of. I mean, no one else is really Donald Trump, but they have the same like political leanings, very right wing. Like a lot of the policies between Ford and Trump would be similar. Ford's at least like a respectable human being to others. Like I can understand why he's not a complete piece of trash. It's just his policies are awful.
Okay.
I think he's awful because of his leaning, like those super right wing nut bars. Like I think they're all awful. But we can't do underdog at all. So like I'd love to use the underdog promo code.
Best ball drafts? No.
Yeah, you can scan this QR code and join Underdog or use the promo code GF2. If unless you're in Canada, you can't have access to it. That sucks.
I think that I'm sorry, Toronto Dave, that you can't do Underdog, but I hate best ball. So, player props, I'm betting anything on Lamar Jackson. I'm going over. Jamie.
Well, I also have my goal line guide article that I write for Full Press Coverage, and I haven't written through the playoffs, but I do still calculate the scores. And the best rushing goal line grade score belong to the 49ers, and the best passing goal line score belong to the Chiefs. So like those would lean me to McCaffrey props, but then also some Chiefs receiving props or passing props with Mahomes. But like I'd love to see like what
this is the best defense the Chiefs played against.
Marquez Valdes-Scantling. What are the lines on Marquez Valdes-Scantling? Because arguably his 2 best career games have come on Championship Sunday. That this is the week where he just comes alive, and then he'll disappear in the Super Bowl. But I think MVS is going to have a great week. So that's maybe the because I imagine his props are going to be pretty low, whether it's receptions or certainly yards. I think that's where I'd want to hit it on MVS. I think the 2 Championship Sundays he's played in, I think he combined for like.
Who were the defenses that he played against? In those 2
Buccaneers and then Bengals.
I'm not messing with Baltimore's defense on and maybe MVS. It depends on how low his props are, but Baltimore's defense is no joke. It's the best defense Casey will see, has seen.
Oh, I mean, it's
all
arguably the best defense in the NFL. But I
What?
also think
It's
that
what?
the best defense in the NFL, the Ravens.
Yeah, for sure. Like
I
they're
think the Browns could have claimed that to start the year, but they really tailed off towards the end of the year. Their
no, the
defense
Browns
got
all year, their splits were bad. Like they were the best defense at home by far. No one
okay.
could touch them at home, but away they
Oh,
sucked
interesting.
all year
Okay.
long.
Whereas the Ravens
The
defense
Ravens,
travels.
the Ravens defense travels, but it doesn't
The thing
matter because
about
they're
it
playing
though
at
is
home.
that it seems like their run defense is the strength. Like the Chiefs. That's why. You know
They're
what?
number one in points. They're number one in sacks, and they're number one in something else. Takeaways, I think. They're like across. They're
Yeah.
historically good. They're historically one of the best defenses.
You've got the 49ers, the Cowboys defense, whatever. But like,
Yeah.
I would think the Ravens arguably have the best defense in the NFL. But it
Yeah.
also does feel like they can just siphon out the run entirely, and it'll force Mahomes to have to pass. Guess what? He's the best quarterback in the NFL, so I think he can at least make it interesting through the air and at least make it a game. Actually, I don't usually go under on player props. I'd be tempted to go with under on Pacheco on his rushing yards, just because of how good that Ravens defense is, and it might again force the Chiefs to be really one-dimensional. That's what they did to the Texans. But again, I mean, if you're the Texans and you're the Chiefs, do you really want Pacheco and Singletary to be the thing that win you the game? Probably not. You're winning with your quarterback, so that's why I think this game will be close.
So I think the game would be close. I think this one would be close. I think that, unfortunately, but I think that the Ravens will come out. I don't see the path for the Chiefs to win is through Mahomes and Travis Kelce, and
Rashee Rice and MVS. But yeah, that like
Yeah,
they have to, like Mahomes has to have another one of his monster Mahomes games to win this. If
Yeah.
he's just even just better than average, it's probably not good enough. Because I
Yeah.
think Lamar is now getting to the point of his career where he's at his peak in terms of like we haven't seen this is the best we've seen of him.
yeah, and I just think that like the Chiefs aren't that great, although they haven't seen that many, but they're not great against running quarterbacks, mobile quarterbacks, and that's all. I mean, Lamar was their leading rusher and their leading. He was responsible for all 4 touchdowns they had last week.
They are great against running backs, and that's where they might siphon the Ravens. But yes, like Lamar is a totally different animal in terms of like having to stop him on the run.
What's up, Brian?
Yeah, there you go. Dynasty Saturday Night 5. Co-host Brian Ford. I know they pre-recorded the episode. It will be airing tonight. I believe it's 7:30. So there's no football games tonight, so there's no excuse to not watch it. I mean, I've got a concert to play, so I will not be watching it tonight, but I will see it after the fact. But you can always watch every episode of the Going for Two Live network in the archives if you miss one live.
Jenny, I don't understand. I took a bet that any lead will be under 14.5 points. 14.5.
So any lead. So at no point in the game is any team going to be more than 14 points ahead of the other.
In both games, or
I would imagine it's the Chiefs-Ravens game. Or maybe it's both games. Who knows?
Jamie,
I'd be less likely to do that for the 49ers-Lions game because I'm so anti-Lions that I think they'll lose. I like that pick for the Ravens-Chiefs game, though.
Jamie, is your pick for one game or for both games? Your bet that you have that's under 4. Like I can see that if that's a bet, I can see that in the Chiefs. Yeah, I don't think that game's going to be a blowout by any stretch of the imagination. But
what happens is it's not even just the final score. I think at any point there can't be a 14 or a 15-point lead or more. It's got to be within
that's an interesting
2 touchdowns the whole time. Yeah, Chiefs Ravens. I like that. I do like that because I think they'll keep it close.
That's an interesting bet, James.
It might be like blow for blow. Ravens score, Chiefs score, like just kind of back and forth like that. I kind of see that's how this game.
So if at any point during the game, let's say the Ravens go up by 15, you automatically lose. Or does it have to be like at the end of a quarter?
When it says any lead, that's what I'm anticipating. That's how I interpret it as well, Glass. Maybe Jamie can clarify, but that's what I think.
So Jamie, is it at the end of the first quarter, in the second quarter, halftime, third quarter game, or is it any time during the game? Because I think it's an interesting.
When he says any lead will be less than under 14.5.
Let me know which one it is.
Said the first option, but yeah, Jamie can clarify.
And what's your prop bet, Jamie? Who's your anytime touchdown for the second game? is what I want to know. Because
I don't think so.
CMC is
I
like a
mean,
given.
the worst
Whatever.
odds will be on McCaffrey though, but that's probably the
Yeah,
safest bet.
that's a given. So I don't want McCaffrey. I want someone. Yeah,
Yeah,
any
any
point
point of the
of
game.
the game. Genie, you
I
feel
wouldn't
like
want to do that in the 49ers Lions because I could see like the 49ers getting a big lead and the Lions kind of clawing their way back into it. Yeah, another team with claws. Um,
you have like really interesting bets, Jamie.
he
You
does. No, he makes a lot of like really like you don't really see the types of bets a lot of that he makes that everyone else advertising their lines, their players over. Like Jamie gets like really out there ones that people don't think of, and I love it because we should be thinking of stuff like this. Jamie's great too. How he correlates his bets, in his parlays. He'll try. He won't just take 6 random different lines unconnected. He'll try and connect his parlay lines too. Jamie's super smart with how he bets. So
Ginny, you should like write content on your betting strategy. Why don't you do that? Oh, maybe
because then
for
everyone else would bet it against and use it against him, and he wouldn't win as much. Honestly, the best people at betting probably aren't providing content. They're just winning bets, so that's it. They don't need to go sell their lines to anything because they're always constantly making money.
I don't know. I follow that Tambo. Is that his name? Tyler Tambo, Canadian guy that now he does run run. No, he doesn't do them.
Establish the run.
Yeah, but I think he. So the guy that no, it's not established run because the guy that won the Millie Maker last year was on established run and he broke off and he does his own group now, and that's what Tambo's on. And they did content offshore betting on which raindrops goes down.
Which raindrop goes down the window faster?
Ah, I
It's the top left corner one. That window's slightly tilted that way.
so I mean
Great joke, Brian.
I don't necessarily agree with that, but maybe. Another one. What's your other bet? That each team needs to score a touchdown and a field goal. In each oh my god!
You know what? And they've got the quarterbacks to make that happen. They've got both teams have the kickers to make that happen too.
Each team needs to score a touchdown
and the defenses are
oh,
good
in
enough
each
that they might
half.
stop. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking quarters, but half. Half I could go with. You got Tucker. He's gonna kick a field goal sometime, and Lamar's probably gonna run it in. Kelsey's probably gonna get at least one touchdown. Bucker is gonna. Yeah, I like that. I like that bet. What were the odds on that one, Jamie?
I would never have thought of that. Right? Like who would think of betting that, right? Like even knowing that exists, but that's the research Jamie does.
Jamie, what are the odds on that one? I also want to know what are the odds on the lead one.
Yeah, no lead bigger than 14.
Yeah, that has to be like crazy odds. Like, I can't imagine.
Well, I imagine it's that one maybe not because it's pretty close. I'd imagine it's pretty close to. There is, there will be a 14.5 plus lead at some point. That one probably has negative odds. There might be plus odds on the other one, but
those are these are like Super Bowl. That's like Super Bowl. They always has.
They get so detailed.
Yeah,
yeah, no, for sure.
But I guess championship week you only have 4 teams, so. But I do want to know like the odds that he is getting on these, because I mean, if you
average temperature throughout the game, over under.
Are both
yeah.
Wait.
I feel like there's meteorological stuff that like predicts it anyway, so I don't know that betting sites would want to make that available. But that would be fun too.
Yeah,
I could see betting sites staying away from temperature-based things because
Plus it's supposed
people
to be really
probably
nice
have like other things that they can like do to predict weather and temperature and things like that better than even the betting sites can. So they feel like they don't have control over those like they would like the player lines. Or if you're the NFFC, just change things after the fact. Blame it on demons.
Wait, doesn't San Francisco play in that new stadium or no? Is that just the Rams and?
No, yeah, no. They play. They built a new stadium in San Francisco a couple years ago.
Right, but it's still outdoors.
Yeah, still
no dome. No dome.
Yeah, no dome.
Okay, I know the weather's supposed to be nice in San Fran. I don't know what the weather's supposed to be in Baltimore.
I mean, it wasn't for the Packers game. It was raining that whole freaking game.
But it was still nice. It wasn't like
Oh yeah,
20,
it wasn't
20 below. Yeah, exactly.
It wasn't the Guns N' Roses cold November rain.
Exactly. It was nice rain. Nice.
Also from California.
Rain.
Oh, I like that reference.
I don't know. I haven't even looked for my DFS yet, which I totally forgot that the game's tomorrow. So I should probably get on that. So
and I talked about this on the Full Press Fantasy Pod. again, I think the biggest play in DFS this week is to fade Pacheco. I'm worried that this Ravens defense will be too overwhelming for him and he won't have a good game. He won't get the touchdown. I know Pacheco's great and I love him as a player, but I just feel like he's probably going to be too expensive this week. I'd rather spend up and get McCaffrey and then spend down at the second running back to be able to get other elite options. So my DFS take this week is to fade Pacheco.
I don't think Pacheco was in my player pool this week. I don't think
Oh, you did. Perfect.
McCaffrey was in my player pool this week. McCaffrey's always so expensive
He is.
that and
But
I
he
don't
can usually pay off the price to justify paying him up if he's so expensive. So
yeah, on a large
that's
large
exactly why.
pool,
'Cause I think
yes.
a lot of people will play Pacheco, especially if they don't want to spend up on McCaffrey. And I think the hedge against it is just to fade Pacheco. And not
Yeah.
necessarily go with another running back, but just invest in like Marquez Valdez-Scantling, invest in the Chiefs pass catchers, not the running backs. That's my DFS take for the week.
I
Not a
think
DFS expert.
I think the problem is that with the teams that you have Montgomery and Gibbs. You have the three-headed monster that is in Baltimore, and then you have McCaffrey and Pacheco. And those are the only two that pretty much don't have competition for the run
What I
game.
think is that like Justice Hill is going to be so much cheaper than Pacheco.
Yeah.
It might
But
be
I don't
just
think
worth it to
Justin
play
Hill's
him.
going to be the guy because he was the guy last week. I think it's going to be Gus Edwards this week.
Well, I think he was the guy last week because Edwards got hurt. And I mean, like, I'll check the injury report. I'm pretty sure Edwards is going to play, but I don't think he's going to be 100%. Maybe by the Super Bowl he'll be fine. No, he wasn't even on the injury report, so I guess they're thinking he's going to be okay. But I'm just a little worried about Edwards not being 100%. They go away from him early, and I also think the Chiefs' run defense is really good too. I mentioned that. Like stopping Lamar is one thing, but I think they'll be able to stop Edwards pretty easily. Whereas you might want the pass catching back in Hill just because they're playing the Chiefs. And if it does turn into a shootout, you probably want that 2-minute running back in Hill. He'll probably play the most snaps.
The only reason I would fade Hill is because Andrews is back. So they're going to play both Likely and Andrews. And if Lamar has to dump off, that's where he's going. He's going to go to his two tight ends.
Well, and to the point of Montgomery and Gibbs, I think take two running backs in that game. Take McCaffrey, then between Montgomery and Gibbs, whoever's cheaper, just go for them, and then that way you fill up the rest with say Ravens pass catchers or Chiefs pass catchers.
Yeah,
because with Andrews back, I wonder if the ownership on Isaiah Likely is going to be super low. I wonder if he's the play. Everyone will be afraid to play him because Andrews is back, but the Ravens use two tight ends enough that even if Andrews is out there, Likely could still get production. And because Andrews' presence, I think he'll be a lot cheaper too.
Yeah, I mean,
okay, so that actually it was minus odds for the under the lead. That's interesting. And then plus 1,200 for the touchdowns and field goals in each half. So yeah, that I did imagine that would be the worst odds on that one. Which, I didn't think there'd be that big of a disparity between the two, but here we go.
All right, so we've gone over, and we still have no Shannon, and he hasn't answered my text. So Shannon, I hope you're okay if you're listening.
Yeah, I don't think Shannon's gonna be on this week. We're announcing that now.
Shoot me a text and let me know that you're all right and everything's okay in your
maybe
household.
He's just sleeping. Maybe he's still just.
I hope he's just sleeping. I remember he was sick and his wife was sick. So
yeah, I know. I remember you talked about that last week. I think he and I had COVID at the same time.
So yeah. So I hope you're okay. Thank you for listening. Jamie, thank you for joining in on chat and giving us your bets. Brian, thank you for joining in. Toronto, Dave, thank you for representing Canada.
Oh, look at that. The Raptors lost again last night.
Jamie, thank you for representing the transitioning Irish of our group. And Brian, thank you for being here. Everyone else who didn't join in the chat, thank you for joining us. Don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to leave a comment. We appreciate you. Good luck if you're betting this weekend. Even if you're not, if your team is playing, good luck. I guess.
Go 49ers. Beat those loser
Ravens.
Lions.
Go Ravens.
Yeah, I want to see a Ravens 49ers Super Bowl.
I want to see a Ravens Lions Super Bowl.
I want to see Lamar Jackson win the Super Bowl. And so he
can
so all these
Everyone
people that doubted him shut the fuck up and like they can't say anything. It'd be great. Just see them how dumbfounded they'll be. It'd be great.
Because that was
he should convert to wide receiver. The Cardinals drafted Josh Rosen.
Oh my God. That was
He's so pro ready.
That was so
He's the most pro ready. He's so smart. Yeah.
the worst draft ever. That was the worst.
What if the Cardinals actually weren't idiots and took Lamar Jackson? How
see,
much better would that franchise be if they had Lamar? Because
uh,
then instead of taking Kyler Murray, they might have been able to get a Nick Bosa.
yeah.
So,
Jamie, thanks for
because I
that.
imagine they would have been stupid enough to play Mike Glennon over Lamar Jackson to start that season.
Well, I mean,
I know the Ravens have
all the smoke coming out when Lamar was in the draft was just ridiculous. And it was kind of like the CJ Stroud. I don't know. People are just
and
ridiculous.
to Texans' credit, they didn't overreact. They
No.
made the right call.
They
we'll
made
take
the
him.
right call.
He actually fell to us at 2. Shit, we'll take him. We'll even trade up for another guy at 3 just because we're that confident. It worked. Oh, Cindy's joining us.
Hi, Cindy. Jamie, I think you're gonna have to wait till next year for that. Maybe not even
Browns Lions Super Bowl. Jamie, I hope that never happens. I would the Browns in the Super Bowl. Fine. I can't even verbalize what it would be like to have the Lions in the Super Bowl. I can't comprehend that possibility. It's never happened before. I assume it'll never happen ever, but I guess we might find out Sunday.
And
Go
you guys,
49ers.
don't forget, like social media, best thing for this week was Grizzly. Yeah, on Instagram, it's Grizzly.Bane. It's like of course, it's dogs. It's a German Shepherd and a Burmese Mountain Dog who talk to each other all the time.
Yeah, I got to listen to a bit of it before the show. Gladys had it on as I was joining.
And then
it did seem hilarious.
It was hilarious. They are hilarious. They're more hilarious because I don't know how they get their dogs to react like they do, like they're actually saying it. And then on Twitter, Cindy Berg, she's a dog mom too, so she could appreciate all of it. But she's also fantasy football relevant. And then on YouTube, Speak on It. All right.
I guess next episode will be in like 4 days, 3 days.
Exactly. Tuesdays. You got it. Okay, Browns versus Packers will work for me. Okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
Steelers.
Honestly, Browns versus any other team other than the Lions, I'm okay with.
Steelers versus any other team. Steelers versus
that'd be great.
Lions.
Steelers Packers. I love Steelers Packers Super Bowl.
I don't love Steelers Packers Super Bowl.
Yeah, there was really only one, but
yeah, and I don't love it.
No.
I gotta watch it. Yeah, you have to watch it. It's like today he was like the German Shepherd, I guess, the dad, and the Burmese was like, Dad, I'm going over to Chad's house. And he's like, okay, what are the rules? He goes, what are you gonna look for? And he's like, the ladies.
Apparently Brian's dog has an Instagram, but he's old and boring.
Wait, what's your dog's Instagram, Brian? I gotta know right now. What's your dog's Instagram account?
And you just gained a follower.
And what?
Well, you're about to follow it.
Yeah, I am.
That's what I'm saying. Brian's dog just gained a follower.
Come
At least
on,
one.
Brian.
Maybe giving him exposure on this show that everyone watches.
Brian, I need to know your Instagram. Okay, Bentley, Toby. You have 2 dogs? What?
Bentley, yeah, he does say my dogs.
Bentley,
like not apostrophe S, but dogs just straight S.
OBY.
Well, I was gonna say, Jamie, part of I'm not sure why they moved the Steelers into the AFC when they merged. To me, they should have had the newest teams, like the Vikings, the Saints, and I think the Falcons. Those should have been the 3 teams chosen to go to the AFC because they were new teams, as opposed to the Colts, Browns, and Steelers, which had been more, especially the Steelers, since like the 30s in the NFL. I find it strange that they chose those 3 teams to equal out the conferences, to put them in the AFC as opposed to the 3 newest teams. So,
oh my God,
I guess if that happened, the Browns and Steelers would then be in the NFC, not the AFC. So they would still be the same problem.
I'm just kidding. All right, I'm on it, Brian. Bentley
and the underscore is
Toby.
Important.
Yeah, it is, because there's like 3 Bentley Tobys. One's like the underscores in the middle. It's crazy, but I got the right one, I think. It
underscores the our society with how dogs are cool.
And remember the underscore. I got it. I'm on it. I'm there. I followed them already. I'm way ahead of you, Brian. Way ahead. Way ahead of you right now.
Toby underscore. Thank you, Brian, for sharing.
They are so adorable. People, this is where you need to go next on your Instagram. They're so cute. And remember the underscore. Steelers versus Browns. Okay. All right. Craziness inside. Everyone, thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for talking with us. Smash that like button. We will see you next week, hopefully with Shannon. He's wait. Okay. And Toronto.
Toronto Dave's likes Toronto with likes dog IG.
Yeah. So Bentley, Toby _ at the end for Brian. And then go to grizzly.bane. Hilarious. And we will see you next week. Thank you, everyone. Have a great weekend. Eat really good food like pizza and nachos for the game. Save that. That's what I'm doing. Vegan nachos. Yes. It's the best. Bye, guys. Bye, Kyle.